Welcome back to Bloomberg's First Word on Money. We're 15 minutes away from the open today. Futures indicating we will see stock markets fall. DAX futures now down by 0.6%, 0.5% fall for CAC 40 futures.
OK, well, let's turn the focus now to the small cap sector. Renew Holdings says first half earnings rose 3% to £3.3 million. Sales, they increased 10% to £193 million. While the UK builder, formerly known as Montpellier Group, has risen 27% in the last 6 months. And that compares with a 5% decline in the Bloomberg Construction and Engineering Index in the same period. Well, the company derives all of its income from the UK. This is according to Bloomberg data, with around 20% coming from engineering projects. Well, Renew sold off its housing unit in 2005 to focus on specialist construction services and, indeed, engineering. Well, the CEO of Renew Holdings, Brian May, joins us now. Thanks very much for coming in, Brian. There, as I said, Jay, first half profit rose 3.5% there, and you do say your earnings are sustainable going forward. What makes you so confident about that?
Well, we're in specialist construction sectors, and we're focusing on sectors that have got pretty good visibility of long-term spending plans. So on our engineering side, which is now 24% of our sales, we're into nuclear and water, which have got pretty well established long-term spending plans, and land remediation. And on our building side, our specialist sectors of social housing, retail, restoration, refurbishment and science education have also got those long-term spending plans. So we're not really exposed to some of the areas that people have concerns about at the moment.
But you have said in your RNS statement today that the economic environment could well become more challenging for you. How exactly would that affect you?
I think I was making a comment more in the broader context of the broader environment. We don't see our position is very similar to 6 months ago. We've obviously had good increase in our revenues and indeed our earnings. Our order book is stable and our future opportunities look good as well. So we're quite positive about the environments that we're in, recognising we're not in the sectors such, for example, as spec house building, which obviously are under pressure.
As I said in the intro there, you have sold off some units to focus on those specialist areas. For you going forward, is that what you'll continue to do?
We've got a clear strategy. We want to grow our engineering side. We've set down targets for 2010. We want it to be a third. We've done 2 acquisitions, one in water and one complementary to our nuclear. And we're looking to grow our specialist engineering side because we can see better visibility in some of those earning streams.
What sort of acquisitions and whereabouts are you looking to make?
Well, in the UK, and there will be in the engineering sector, ground-related environmental, water's obviously an area we've moved into, which we would like to grow, but really connected with the improvement of land for future projects.
You've got £25 million in cash, haven't you? How much do you have to spend on acquisitions?
Well, I'm not going to be precise on the amount, but clearly we're well placed to react quickly to opportunities, and the cash gives us great strength in the market to do that. But we're not going to be rushed into the wrong acquisitions. It's very important we get the right.
Is now the time? I mean, are assets reasonably priced right now?
Maybe there's a bit of a time lag with people getting used to the different environment and reviewing their expectations. But we're continually looking for acquisitions to bolster this growth.
As you say, you are based in the UK. Any plans to expand your horizons?
No, we're focusing on the UK at the moment. We're making good progress with the group, and that's our sole focus today.
Looking at some of your divisions now, social housing, you say you expect confirmed orders over the next 3 months. How important is that going forward, and what sort of level are we talking about here?
Well, those orders are virtually confirmed because we're on site on enabling work, so the orders will naturally follow through. And our new build social housing activity is in the southeast, and we have partnerships with 6 of the housing associations, and we've got long-term visibility for the next 2 or 3 years on the expected order flow.
And talking about your order book, I mean, in your statement, you're talking a lot about the fact that you are tendering for a number of different contracts going forward. How is that in this environment, and how competitive is it at the moment?
Well, a lot of our work, 70% of our work is negotiated, and what that means is we have limited competition at the front end and then negotiate the projects with our clients. So that tends to reduce the risks, obviously. Obviously, it reduces the opportunities as well. So the environment is competitive, but we're quite used to that in the construction sector. It's always been the case.
You've also 66% increase on your dividend. Is that sustainable going forward?
Well, I'm not going to promise 66% time on out, but we did say when we came back to the dividend list in 2005, we'd have a progressive dividend policy, and that really reflects that.
And you have an operating margin target of at least 2.5% by 2010.
Correct.
The operating margin increased to 1.6 from 1.3. Yeah. You are confident you'll hit that 2.5% target?
That's our target. That's what we're aiming at, and we're very focused on achieving that in 2010.
And what about the shares themselves? I know you can't can't talk too much about shares. Little changed in the last 12 months. Is there a reason for our viewers to buy these shares now?
Well, I think the share price has done pretty well. I mean, we did drop back a bit by about 20%, but I mean, when you compare with our peer group, who've trading much less than they were 12 months ago, we stayed up pretty well. But, you know, the story and the targets are there. People can work out the figures for themselves and judge for themselves. But we think we've got a compelling offering in a specialist construction market, not being in the general market.
Brian, thanks for joining us today. Renew Holdings Chief Executive Brian May there. Now, minutes away from the European Open, still on our show, we're going to cross to the Frankfurt Stock Exchange to find out how the DAX is likely to open ahead of that ZEW survey later on the radar. SAP, after the company won an order from Daimler. We'll have the details.